If you want the best coverage from the farm system to the front office, then you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Rangers Today Baseball Podcast, now on the Dub Network. Here are your hosts, Jeff and John.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Rangers Today Baseball Podcast. This is episode number 91, and today, lots of stuff going on, trade deadline. We're going to get into all of that right now. Okay, guys, this is a big week, dude. This was huge.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things not necessarily great on the road trip. They're 2-4 on the road trip, but they played two good teams
Well, they're 1-2 on the road trip because
I'm sorry, the Dodgers came in town and took 2-3,
yeah.
and then they're 1-2 on the road trip heading to San Diego, where they're going to be tonight.
Yeah.
But you know, I know they lost a horrible game Monday. That was bad, and proof right there what they needed is the bullpen, and we've talked about that over and over.
Sure.
Get this out of the way, and but I tell you what, over on top of the two bad wins was an unbelievable win Wednesday night.
Yeah,
and I think that the Astros, what is it that the Japanese general said in World War II when they bombed Pearl Harbor and everyone was excited in Japan, and he said, "I'm afraid we may have awakened a sleeping giant." Hey, you and I know Marcus Semien. We've talked to him many times. He's one of the most reserved, great guys, just a super nice guy. He got pissed.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so the loss Monday stunk. You know, had a 3-run lead with Chapman on the mound. The call at the plate at the end, you know, which stood, even though it looked like there was evidence, it could have been overturned. And then, you know, the next night, 4-3, a play at the plate ended up costing him in the 8th when Semien was called out on replay. So, you know, the games were close. They were very competitive. It's not like the Astros, the ownership they'd had of the Rangers the last few seasons, where you'd go there and it'd be 12-3 every night. So,
yeah.
And then the game Wednesday started out pretty crappy because Bregman hit a 3-run homer in the first. You're like, here we go again. And Andrew Heaney got it together and tossed 4 scoreless innings after that. And, you know, in the first inning, he'd hit Yordan Alvarez on an 0-2 pitch. I mean,
okay, so you're with me. You don't think that was on purpose?
No.
No. I saw that Mark DeRosa said last night, "Oh yeah, he was hitting him." Listen, DeRosa, let me just right now try to quash that. If he was up 2-0, maybe even 3-0, you don't want to come across the plate to Yordan Alvarez after you've just given up a 3-run dinger.
Right.
So maybe your thought is, okay, if he's on base, you know, maybe I can try to get out these next guys because he's killed us. So maybe I will send a message on 2-0, maybe 3-0 or something like that behind on the plate, because you know you don't want to bring it right over the middle. You're up 0-2. I mean, you got 2 strikes on the guy, and you need to get an out there. He was not throwing at him.
No, he hadn't recorded an out yet.
Exactly.
He was down 3-0. The last thing he needs to do is put somebody else on base, especially when you're ahead 0-2.
Exactly.
So he hits him.
It
was Alvarez's first plate appearance off the injured list. You know, he hadn't played for a month or so.
Right.
Understandably pissed. The timing of it after the home run doesn't look good, but you do that on the first pitch.
Yep.
You don't screw around. You just get it out of the way, send your message, and that's it. So when Semien comes to bat in his second at bat in the third inning, first pitch gets drilled. And what he said after the game was pretty interesting. He said, "I got hit by a 4-seam fastball by a sinker baller."
Yep.
You know, Framber Valdez never throws a 4-seamer, and he throws one in and up and in and hits Semien. It seemed apparent at that point that, and you know, Dusty Baker's old school. That's the baseball that Dusty Baker grew up in, and frankly, that's the baseball that Bruce Bochy grew up in too.
Exactly.
But
and Bochy would never call for him to hit Alvarez in that position.
No.
He's trying to win this game. He wants to stay ahead of them.
And you got to get your pitcher on track.
Exactly.
Anyway, so
DeRosa's wrong.
Two out. You know, it was 1 out when Semien got hit. Travis Jankowski makes an out. Nate Lowe hits a home run, and at that point, I guess it was Semien said that when he touched home, he told Martin Maldonado that we're going to come back and win this game.
Yep.
And Maldonado said, "No, we're going to beat you like it was when you were in Oakland." And
right.
So it was. This is hero stuff. When Semien came up his next at bat, he hit a 3-run homer.
Yes.
I mean, that is shoving it up somebody's ass.
Right there.
Right there. You can't get any bigger than that. It was a 3-run homer, huge situation, and he stared and he talked the whole way around the bases.
Right.
Next inning, the fifth.
It was so funny when he got home and he said something because Kathy, who watches the game, she loves to watch it, especially when they're winning. And she goes, he just said something to that catcher. And I go, did you not see him running the bases?
Right.
I said, he is pissed.
And then the next inning, Garcia hits the grand slam.
But they threw it low. He threw it low.
Okay. He might have. Yeah. I mean, it was his last pitch. Anyway, so Simeon touches home and just starts talking.
Yeah.
Saying it. And according to Marcus, he said to Maldonado, I told you we were going to win this game.
Yep.
And, the bench is cleared and the umpires, they didn't need to throw anybody out, but
exactly.
They did. And, but
not even the catcher, not even, he didn't do anything wrong either.
They weren't being confrontational with each other.
They were jawing at each other a little bit, and that's sports.
But they weren't in each other's faces getting ready to throw down.
They were not.
So anyway, but what Simeon did is Simeon lit a fire in the team.
Right.
Now, the off day yesterday, going to the beach, maybe that put the fire out, but I don't think so. I think that, and tonight's starting pitcher might put the fire out. But the fact of the matter is that this team woke up, they scored 13 runs. They might have been reminded how good they are after two tough series against two really good teams. I mean, the Dodgers and Astros are good teams. But if you look at the Rangers are 8-4 since the All-Star break. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. That's really good. It's not like they're playing like crap.
No.
So,
and it's not like you said, the Astros didn't win by 6 runs Monday night and then 3 runs Tuesday night. There was 2 1-run games.
Right.
My 1-run clicker had to get
it's updated.
It had to get updated 2 days in a row on that. But boy, God, that was so fun Wednesday. It was fun to see that Wednesday more than anything. You and I have talked to Seager. Simeon is not a guy. When you talk about Simeon needs to be a leader or do that, he is a leader, but he's not a leader that closes the clubhouse and screams and yells at everybody, get their fucking stuff in gear, excuse me. But that's not what he does. Yeah. He goes out early every day and works out. He shows young guys that he's working hard for everything he needs. Right. But boy, oh boy, he got jolly there. Yeah. He was pissed.
He's, he commands respect. I mean, he's got a pedigree.
Yep.
It's an older team in some regards, yes, but a lot of the position players are still young and need somebody to follow and an example to follow. And the way Marcus Simeon goes about his business is commendable, and it's something that you hope that if you're a manager or general manager, you hope everybody who plays for you is like Marcus Simeon or works like Marcus Simeon.
Exactly.
Doesn't want to come out of the games. I hope he doesn't get suspended. Because that would prevent him from playing 162 games. I'm sure he can appeal it. And again, the MLB is going to look at it all as they always do, but it just didn't seem like something that warrants a suspension. It was just 2 guys talking and they got ejected. Now the benches did clear, but no punches were thrown, nothing like that.
It wasn't even close to throwing punches.
Right.
They were just basically, and in fact, it really got kind of heated when Garcia hit the grand slam. When he got home, that's when him and Maldonado, and I think they were just talking.
Adolis hugged him.
He did what? He what?
I thought he hugged him.
Oh, he did. He was trying to tap him on the back, and I think he was saying, "Listen, something to that effect." Hey, because there was the game when Adolis hit the home run, looked back at him because they had been jawing at each other.
Initially, I thought they might have been mad because how slow Garcia went around the bases.
He did.
He didn't watch it or flip his bat, but he took his sweet time getting around the bases, especially around third. But anyway, it's just one of those things, and I tell you, the Astros don't like it when somebody confronts them.
No, they don't.
They still live in a fantasy about the trash can beating, and
right.
They don't get it, and then something like this, somebody says something to them and they get their feelings hurt. So it'll be interesting. They have one more series. It'll be in Arlington, and then that's it. Because this year the schedule's different.
It's not 19 games anymore.
Play 19, it's 13, and I don't mind that. But anyway, it'll be a big series. The Astros aren't going anywhere. The Rangers aren't going anywhere.
No.
And both teams are trying to get better.
Yeah, so I tell you who else is getting better are the Angels.
Yeah,
That's weird though. What they did.
I still don't buy them. I don't.
They don't have Trout till August, right?
They're 7 games out
They're 4.5 out of the wild card.
4.5 or 4 out in the wild card. 3, it might be 3 actually, because they play the Blue Jays this weekend, and that's a battle for the last potential opportunity for the Angels to get into the wild card mix. Look, they have Ohtani, who's great. He can't carry him alone. They do need help. Giolito will help. Ronaldo Lopez will help. Their bullpen's always been a disaster really since Francisco Rodriguez left. I mean, they just can't get anybody back there. I mean, Houston Street was good, but and it is interesting. But I mean, I think it was predictable.
Yeah,
they're hot at the right time, but they might be hot at the wrong time.
Absolutely.
Long term. I mean, if this thing falls apart on them, they've won 8 of 9, I think, and they're a 5-game losing streak from being also Rans again.
Exactly.
And then they're going to be.
They've got to jump 2 teams.
They're going to have Ohtani. They're going to get, if he leaves, they get like a pick in the 70th overall. Right. They don't get a good pick for him.
Why is that? I mean, I thought that you got a pick in between the first and second round, but is it because he was a arbitration?
I'm not sure what it is. But it's not. It's they're not getting a first round pick.
No,
they're not. And then anyway.
It's about 65 to 70 is where they think it's going to
have an opportunity to really make improvements for the team for next year. Because I think realistically, nobody expects him to go back to the Angels.
No, I don't think so.
And if he does go back, it's bad for the Angels from a payroll standpoint,
right?
Because you're paying him, I don't know, $50 million, $50 million.
Right.
You're still on the hook for Trout for $37 a year. That damn Rendon deal's killing him. So I mean, you've got.
Thank goodness the Rangers.
You'll have 110, 120 million tied up into 3 players.
Exactly.
And it'll really kind of cripple him. I mean, if I'm the Rangers, I want him to re-sign Ohtani. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, it really puts them in a terrible position, but. They want to. What did I've seen sources say? Oh yeah, they want to give it a final shot to make the playoffs and to let fans see Ohtani. And you know what? You got to do what's best for the team. And I don't.
And it's Art Moreno's ego that has gotten in the way here.
Sure.
Because I guarantee you, who's the president of baseball? Who's their GM?
Perry Manassian's their
and I
GM.
guarantee you, his advice is, look. Let's start. We got to get. They don't have a farm system. It's ranked 25th out of 30, something like that. We can build this farm system up. Yes, he's a rental, but we will get a top 100 prospect for sure. Maybe even a top 50.
You get a couple, yeah.
You might get a couple of them, and if nothing else, there are guys that are lower in other systems that would be high in our system, and these are big leaguers that would be here. We could build this up, but Moreno is a stubborn mule who was gonna sell the team. Now he's not gonna sell the team, and so he is stubborn on it, and he thinks I can just money whip. And he signed bad contract after bad contract.
Sure.
He did it with Josh Hamilton. He did it with Pujols. He did it with CJ. With CJ. Did okay with there, but he wasn't the C.J. Wilson.
Right. He was injured the last couple of years of that.
Exactly. Deal. And he hamstrung himself with these guys that were 45 years old by the time they were, and Hamilton just didn't perform.
Yeah.
He kind of fell off the cliff there and ended up paying the Rangers to just put him in the lineup.
Yeah. The Hamilton thing was, it was a mistake all around. Josh should have never left. He realizes that. They didn't offer him the same support that the Rangers offered him. It was Mike Scioscia, who old school hardliner against Ron Washington, who's a player's manager.
Mm-hmm. Who'll chew your ass when you need to. But
Josh Hamilton would go into Ron Washington's office and take naps on his couch.
Yeah.
Mike Scioscia wouldn't go for that crap.
No.
And so it was a disaster for them to start. But it was 5 years, $125 million at a time when there weren't a lot of 9-figure contracts flying around. So it's not always the shiniest toy that gets you to the promised land, and they're finding that out. They have the 2 best players in the world on their team, and they're not good.
No,
and I mean, they're playing well right now with Ohtani. I just don't believe it. You can't go this long without good players and sustain it. So we'll see what happens. I could be totally wrong, but they've taken their path, which has kind of freed up everybody who wanted Ohtani to start on another path here with the trade deadline, which is in a couple days. It's on Tuesday.
I'll be out there.
I'll be out there. I'll be out there eventually. It's an interesting time.
I love that day.
The Rangers have they're in San Diego. So's the front office. They're in San Diego also. They're meeting.
They went to. Okay.
They did, and so they're out there. That's their.
They might come home from San Diego. Somebody might join that plane ride.
That's home. That's kind of what I wrote today at RangersToday.com, which is $5.99 a month, $35 for 6 or $60 for 12 months.
Look, look. We pitch this all the time, and guys, look. I'm coming from the Ranger fan perspective. Okay, I'm telling you right now, this is the best Rangers coverage from the farm to the front office. It is the best Ranger coverage there is. It is every day we cover the Rangers. I throw in my 2 cents every once in a while, but Jeff's a professional journalist who's covered the Rangers since 2008. It's cheap. My gosh, $60 to get it for a year. That's less than $5.99 a month, right?
It is. It's $5 a month.
$5
simple
a month.
Math.
It's simple math. I'm not. He's the mathematician. I'm not. But, guys, okay. I'm done pitching because we're going to talk trade deadline stuff. But I'm telling you, go sign up. Give it to if you know somebody that is a big Ranger fan. Buy it for them for Christmas or buy it for them for their birthday. This is something to get because it's good.
Yeah, it's good. It is.
It's very good.
Yeah.
And you're not paying for me. You're paying for him and T.R. Sullivan, who comes on and writes some stuff every once in a while, too.
Yeah.
So,
But, it's good. But, the trade deadline, Rangers are in San Diego. Front office guys are in San Diego.
Who all goes on that? So, all the assistant...
all the assistant guys. So, obviously, Chris is there. I wouldn't be surprised if Ray Davis is there. Or would fly in at some point. He has his own plane, so he can go wherever he wants.
He can do what he wants, yeah.
Ross Fenstermaker's there. I'm assuming Josh Boyd is there. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I am going to because I'm just going to stop there.
Yeah, okay.
It's a group that's out there, and we'll see what happens. I'm sure there's all kinds of rumors of who's available, who the Rangers might be interested in. I just saw something that they might be interested in Justin Verlander.
Right.
And sure, hey, if the Mets take the money and he's looking good, do it, and
he's been good the last, 9 starts or something like that?
He's not a great postseason pitcher, though, if you look at his career numbers, but I wouldn't take him to get to the post. I'd take my chances.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Padres specifically, that they're what, I think 5 games under 500. They have this unbelievable roster.
Oh, God.
They are so talented. And it's just not clicking.
And they have depleted their farm system.
Yeah, that's how last year they made the trade for Juan Soto and Josh Hader. They didn't come cheap.
I don't think Soto's getting traded, do you?
No, my theory is, or a theory is that if you offer AJ Preller the right prospects, he in his mind he can say, all right, we're retooling the farm system. And this gives me a chance this winter to go get more guys.
Right.
So Soto has 1 year of control remaining, so I like that. He's obviously a special player. He
started slow this year, but now he's really come on.
He was an all-star. He's going to be an expensive sign, but that's that. If you have a chance to sign one of the best players in the world, you do it.
Yes. There's no argument.
So anyway. I would unload the farm for Juan Soto if it were to come to that. He would go right into the. I don't know. He could hit wherever the heck you want him. He'd probably. I would guess he would move to. He would bat third.
Right.
Simeon, Seager, Soto, Garcia, Lowe, Young, Heim. It just makes your lineup so much deeper.
Yeah.
And while you're there, you might as well get Josh Hader.
Yeah.
The really good, the unbelievable
he's a rental
reliever
too.
Who. After the trade last year wasn't very good, but he's a rental. Blake Snell, one of the best starting pitchers in the game right now, he's a rental. So there are three players, maybe more out there, just on the San Diego roster alone who would help your team.
So the Rangers could do 2 things. They could go into there and just punish the Padres and just beat them by 4 runs tonight and 5 runs tomorrow and solidify the fact that let's really talk about this. It's obvious. you can see the difference between us and you. And even though and do something like that and then help themselves by pulling out. I'm of the opinion, I said all along, it's very rare I'm right, but I said from the beginning I didn't think Ohtani would be there. It started to change where people were saying it looks like he's going to get moved. I think they're going to move him, and I was still going, I don't see it. I still don't think Moreno's smart enough to do that. He's too ego. I don't think the Rangers do. It's obvious they can make a big package deal, which would be great for Soto or something like that. But I think it's going to be individual moves. I think they're going to do something like a Bednar where they might give up some good prospects for, and then maybe rent a couple of guys that wouldn't take as big a deal to do.
Yeah.
Snell especially, I don't know why you wouldn't sell Snell individually, because you could probably get a top 30 prospect from the Rangers who might be at the bottom of the top 100. It wouldn't take much, but Bednar would be the one that probably would take more, just because he's controllable 3 more years.
Yeah, but he's still just a reliever. I mean, not just a reliever. He's pretty good, but
you'd have solidified the back end of the bullpen.
Yeah.
You could probably sign Chapman back to something.
See, yeah.
But any case, all right, go ahead.
So anyway, I mean, what you're saying isn't wrong. I mean, it could happen.
Really? I'm used to wrong.
The White Sox, have
Yes.
Dylan Cease, who I'm a big fan of. They traded Giolito and Lopez. They got the Angels' number 2 and number 3 prospects, which is a huge overpay. And honestly, I think it's kind of gonna delay the market a little bit, because teams might see that and be like, well, this is the market, and the sellers are saying this is the market, and the buyers are like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah.
So we'll see about that. But Bednar, sure. Mitch Keller apparently is available, but geez, if you're the Pirates and you think you're close, why would you trade a young starter? I don't get that one. The White Sox have more than just Lopez in their bullpen. They have Joe Kelly and the guy whose name is escaping me right on the tip of my tongue. But they also have Lance Lynn, who's pitched better of late, who would probably be really comfortable being with a contender and with the Rangers, where he had a lot of success.
He's a beast. I mean, he might give up 4 runs, but he'll be the guy that'll go 6 and not. We've seen him do that, and look, he's got the stuff to be a pitcher that can do that.
Yeah.
And maybe his head's not in it because they're so far out of it. I don't know. Sometimes I've said this over and over, and Taylor Hearn's what I said too. Sometimes a change of scenery and new eyes on you to go, this is what you need to do, can fix a lot of things.
I think he and Mike Maddox would be a good pair.
Well, they're also, the Rangers are real good at taking pitchers and adjusting something. They did it with Minor, Lynn, what's his name that's with Gibson with Philly.
He's with the Orioles, but the
Orioles now.
Phillies,
but he went to the Phillies that they traded. But those guys that retool their career, something here gets them going, and they roll till it here. Look what they did with Dunning too, who has been. Dunning was always, he was kind of thought of well with the White Sox, and then he comes over here, and he's just been. He's a strike thrower. He's up there throwing that sinker and doing his job, whether he's going to end up in the bullpen or not. But right now, it's strange to say this, but right now the Rangers are doing good things with pitchers and turning them into guys that are performing.
Sure. Yeah, and I don't know. You got any predictions on what they're going to get? Like legitimate thoughts, like they could get. Like you see Eduardo Rodriguez. Okay, he's a nice pitcher with Detroit, but do you want 3 lefties in your rotation, or do you have to move one of the lefties to the bullpen? I mean, he's having a great year. He's a very good pitcher. So I wouldn't be disappointed if they got him. He can opt out of his deal after this year, which might make you wonder if he's a rental or if he's a controllable piece. That might affect the price. The Tigers have some relief arms too, but I just have no feel for it. But I do kind of like the Verlander idea. So I'm gonna if they can't get Cease is who I would like them to get as a fan. It makes a lot of sense because he's controllable. It fills a need for next year too. So would Verlander, who is under control, controllable,
and he even has an option after that for 25.
I mean, he's 40. Do you worry about that? So,
I
but
say
anyway,
this all the time, though. A guy that's 40, 41, if he stays in shape, even if he ends up being your 3 or 4 starter who's been there and he's been that good for that long, that's not a bad guy. Because a guy that's 42 could be, maybe he's your 3rd or 4th starter, but, once every 3 or 4 starts, he has one of those 7-inning, 1-run games or something. Yeah. And that you want that out of your 4th or 5th starter.
Well, and one thing we need to keep in mind is Kate Upton would come along with that. So,
and we need to. Who needs to be on the podcast?
We need to also think about that
in person. She needs to come sit in studio.
Anyway, so we'll see. It's going to be interesting, but I still think it's.
So that's your prediction.
I don't think that just what little history we have with Chris Young. He goes big.
Yeah.
Right. He goes big. So.
I think he wants to solidify himself.
I think big to me in my mind is Dylan Cease.
Okay.
So if Cease or Verlander, not both.
Okay.
And then relievers, they just need to get some relievers. It doesn't matter who. They just need better ones.
Right. Exactly.
So 2 relievers, 1 starter. That's my prediction.
Okay, I have 2 relievers, 1 starter, too, that I think they're going to go out, and I think their big splash is going to be Bednar. I think they're going to give up someone maybe like a White and a Gutierrez, something like that I put out yesterday, which might line up on your. I don't know how accurate that calculator thing is they do, but I like to play that game because I'm a nerd and I play that game. But that evened out right there, and you get Bednar, and you've got a back end of the bullpen guy for the next 3 years, and then you're going to go out. I think Lance Lynn is somebody that fits, and then as a starter, and then maybe someone like maybe you do something for Hader. Also, and you do a Hader and Bednar here with Lance Lynn, and I'm telling you right now, that's Lance Lynn. I know you're thinking. I'd love Verlander, by the way. I think Verlander would be great. So maybe something like Bednar and Verlander, and then Hader. That would be fantastic too. But you put Lynn in this rotation. You put 2 good arms at the back end of this bullpen, and your rotation gets better right away. Then you really are saying, all right, can you give me 5 or 6 a night? You're not saying go to 6 or 7 every night. If you can get me 5 or 6 and keep me in it, then we can do it.
Yeah, we'll find out here in a couple of days.
I'm always wrong on these, but that's why we play the game. It's
too
much fun. All right, guys, that's it. So what do you say we go down in the bus leagues? Let's talk about what's going on down in the bus leagues right after this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Down in the Bus Leagues is brought to you by the Round Rock Express. Jeff, what's going on in Round Rock?
Well, not a lot right now because the team's in El Paso and then they're headed to Oklahoma City next week. But, such a good time there in Round Rock at Del Diamond. The team comes home on August 8th to play the Albuquerque Isotopes. $2 Taco Tuesday, which I love. The next night, $1 hot dogs, which I also love. Thursday the 10th, it's a brew review, the original Thirsty Thursday, and then Pints and Pups, so you can bring your pup to the dog. You need to go check that one out at roundrockexpress.com/dogs. And then on the 11th, this is the big one, it's Chili Night with Brian Bumgarner, who's Kevin from The Office, and the very famous scene where he spills the giant pot of chili all over.
Hysterical.
There'll be fireworks that night. And then over on the 12th, Saturday the 12th, which is my son's birthday, there's a post-game concert. It's also Sneakerhead Night, which I know you like, John. And then Sunday the 13th is Kids Day. So go to milb.com/round-rock for more information.
All right, guys. Round Rock Express bringing this one. We're going to go down in the bus leagues right now and talk about all things minor league and from the top to the bottom. Okay, so let's go. I mean, this could look different too. I mean, these teams might all look different after Tuesday.
Yeah. No, that's.
I think there's some teams that are shopping.
I think that's something we got to be aware of, and I mean, not be aware of it. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you don't know who.
Some of these guys are not going to be in this organization in 4 days.
Yeah, I mean that's
the way it works.
Part of the reason why you build a farm system is to trade them away,
and it's good for them.
It is good for them. I mean, they're going to an organization that
wants them.
Not
that the Rangers don't.
Not that the Rangers don't.
But
in some cases, if the Rangers trade some middle infielders who are blocked at the big league level, it kind of clears a pathway for them to get to the major leagues. So
exactly.
Not saying that Luis Angel Acuna or Justin Foscue are going to get traded, but they are blocked in the major leagues. So there's just nothing, no denying that. But yeah, and until then though, I don't want to throw out any names. Don't want anybody to listen to this and start fretting or anything. So,
but this organization is going to take a hit for a good reason. I think they're going to lose some good guys. Yeah. Okay, let's start at the very bottom. We're going to go down to the Dominican Summer League. I'm just going to give you some scores there. There's not a lot that comes out of there. They have 2 teams in the Dominican Summer League.
All right.
One team is 19-18 right now. Another one is 15-21. Do they split them up evenly, or do they?
Yeah. I don't think it's like a varsity and a JV. I think they just kind of. Assign them wherever. And
they pick 2 captains, and they sit there and they pick their teams.
It's a 1-2, 1-2.
I'll take you. And there's always that middle infielder pick last, or that reliever.
Yeah, no, and a lot of the teams have 2 teams, and that's because you have so many players down there.
Sure.
You got to get them into games, and you could make a case to have 2 Arizona Complex Leagues teams, and I think a couple of organizations do. I know the Giants have 2 teams, for instance.
Right.
And, it's just a way to get guys meaningful at bats, and
sure.
It makes it easier on the manager. It doesn't have to say, "Oh, this guy hasn't played for 2 weeks." And maybe they split it up. I don't know. I've never really asked. Maybe they have 2 teams.
But maybe they play inter-squad games.
They just play them every other day,
or what do you call them? Simulated games on the side or something.
It's a little hot. You don't want to be out in the sun too much down there.
That's true. They don't play in the 72 degrees that the Rangers play.
They don't. But anyway, they're young guys, talented guys. The complex league team is going to get some reinforcements here, and same thing with down east when the draft guys start.
Yep. When
they finish their onboarding and start.
Speaking of the complex league, who started out pretty bad.
Yeah,
they are 16-21. They've kind of scuttled a little bit lately. They're 4-6 in their last 10, and they did win the other day. But they got one player there that I hope isn't going anywhere. You and I have talked to him before, but we'll obviously get him on for a big episode, and that's Sebastian Walcott, who's got 6 home runs at 17, and he's got a 953 OPS there. This kid might be something special. I mean, I've said my prediction is that this will be the number 1 prospect within 2 years.
Well, he's 3rd now. If you kind of look at
not on my list,
Baseball America has him as their number 3 prospect behind Wyatt Langford, the number 1, the fourth overall pick, and then Evan Carter,
who's the number 1 prospect on everyone's board,
who's really heating up.
Yes.
So anyway,
boy, is he.
Walcott's solid.
Right.
He's big. He's developing. He seems comfortable in Arizona, more comfortable than he was in the Dominican.
He can hit fastballs.
It's showing on the field. So good for him.
Yep. All right, let's go down let's go to the affiliates now. We'll go to the lowest, which is low A. It's the Down East Wood Ducks. They are 12-15. We're in the second half, guys.
They're in the playoffs.
They're in the playoffs from the first half. They're 3-7 in their last 10, and they've won one. They won their last game. Who do we need to talk about there?
Well, they're not scoring.
Yeah.
That's kind of been their problem all year long.
Pitching is always ahead of bad hitters when they first get into this.
It could be.
With bat, some of those guys that are.
But this team is built on pitching, and we've mentioned their names, Aiden Curry and Joseph Montalvo and Leandro Lopez and DJ McCarty, and, of course, Brock Porter.
Yeah.
Dylan McClain's having a nice little year. So, and McClain was the 4th-round pick in the 2020 draft.
The COVID draft, right.
Foscue, AAA. Evan Carter, number 1 or number 2 prospect. TK Roby, who's hurt. He's in Frisco, but he's in Arizona. He'll be back in Frisco here in a couple weeks. Then you have McClain, and then you have Thomas Ajayci, our guest last week, who we'll talk about more here in a second at AA.
Right.
That's a really good draft. And then Kip, 2 episodes ago, said that they thought they had their hands on the Chase Dolander, who was the big star at Tennessee and coming into the season was the number 1 pitcher in the draft. And he ended up going, I think, 9th or 10th to the Rockies. I mean, he said if it had been a 10-round draft, they would have added even more guys. So they really were seeing the ball well that year in the draft, and at least that's what it appears so far. We'll see what happens to him long term, but not bad. But that team's built on pitching. Yeah,
and Hickory, who's 18-8. This is high A, by the way. Hickory, they're 18-8. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They've won their last game. Camp Colley got called up.
Yeah,
and hit 2 home runs.
Yeah. He's been playing well there.
He's been on the team. Been on the show. I mean, he
Yeah.
came on right after he got drafted.
A couple years ago, and he was out in Arizona. And
he's a Texas kid.
Yeah, Houston area, east of Houston, and a good kid, a very good defensive player, very fast.
Texas Tech commit, so he was going to a big school.
He can hit a little bit,
catch a football.
So anyway, we like Cam. That's good for him. Abby Ortiz continues to hit the ball really well there, and it's they're 18-8. They're in position to go to the postseason. If Down East is in the playoffs, and then if Hickory were to make it, it'd be interesting to see what the Rangers would do with some of the draft picks, because like Wyatt Langford is going to go to a full season affiliate.
Right, he's going to go out.
Hickory or Down East could really use the offense. I don't know, so maybe he goes there. I'm not sure where it'll go, but the recent history with the drafted player, or the highest drafted position players, is they go to low A. So we'll see, but we're a couple weeks away from that. They're onboarding right now in Arizona, but Hickory's playing just fine.
Then we go to Frisco Rough Riders, 13-11. They've hovered around 500 all year. Now they're 2 games over 500, 6-4 in their last 10. They did lose one. This is where the talent is right now. Most of the talent is, and actually, AAA, which we'll talk about Round Rock a little bit, they've got some talent there too, but the biggest names probably in the organization, and now White's got moved up to AAA too, but now he's in the big leagues. But sorry, I mean, what are we talking here? We do that, but I mean, the number one prospect in the organization right now is Evan Carter. He is at Frisco. He's been there all year, and he has not disappointed, except for when he got hit on the wrist.
Yeah, that May wasn't good, but he was trying to fight through an injury. I think he learned not to do that. If something's bugging you and it's not going away, it's okay to say, hey, I'm hurting.
He's always been the best player on his team, and in high school or whatever, you don't want to let your teammates down to do that. You're developing now. When you're at the big league level, maybe you try to tough it out.
Well, and these are lessons that you learn.
Exactly.
So anyway, he's playing great. So JC's just hit another grand slam. It seems like he gets
he's got 3 or 4, I think.
4, I think. He's got 15 homers. I think he's up to 70 RBIs. I mean, this is if you didn't watch, if you listened to last week's episode, great. We got it out on video Thursday night. So go and make sure to check it out if you want to see what he looks like, and or if you just haven't heard it or seen it yet, go do that. But just a solid guy. And then Acuna. If you look at Acuna's stats, his home runs have trended up a little bit here lately. He's actually walked more and struck out less than Sajaci. He's stolen 41 bases. Yeah. He seems to make a lot of highlight plays at shortstop. Really good defensive player. So
Sajaci started playing some shortstop.
Yeah, he can get around. That's what he played in high school, and
that's
and
interesting.
Acuna's been playing center field once a week.
Right.
If they keep these guys, they've got and they want to get them to the major leagues. Their bats dictate that they belong in the major leagues. They got to find another position to play.
I tell you what, and Sajaci, I've always loved Sajaci. He was one of my favorites in that draft. Reading his stats and doing that, I just got an eerie feeling. I think he is going to. Someone wants him.
I'm sure somebody wants him.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
that guy right there is a future big leaguer at somewhere. Whatever he does. I don't know that he's an outfielder. Maybe he stays at third. He ends up being a utility guy that can come up and play a couple positions. But his bat plays. He's hit at every level coming up. He hit in high school. He was going to go to Pepperdine. He is, and he's a grinder. We've heard him say that. He loves the grind to do that. I just think I love Acuna, and I really love Acuna, but you got Sajaci too. Boy, it's almost a coin flip for me personally about if somebody's down to, we'll give you what you want, but whether it's Acuna or Sajaci, I'm almost like, which one do I want? I mean, I love both the players, but those two right there, I'd hate to lose both. I'm fine if we keep one. That's what I'm.
Well, I don't know what
I say we because I'm a Ranger.
Acuna's a headlining type prospect.
Yes.
He really is, and whether that's because of the name, I mean, there's some talent there too, obviously, and
right.
But I don't know. We don't know. I mean,
We're going to know before we record our next episode.
Yeah, we'll know. Yeah, maybe we might have to do something that night.
Go live or something. Do a live. Yeah. You know what? They went live the other. Yeah, we'll be at the game.
Yeah.
But for sure, you know what we could do at our seats where we sit. We could put the little phone up there and just go live. And
they've got the workroom in the back too. Maybe we could go hop in there.
Hop in there and go live for a little bit and talk about what they've done. At 4:00 is the deadline. Is that the deadline?
It's at 5.
It's 5 Central.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
I think it's 5 Central. But
okay.
Anyway,
I said that I meant to put a question mark into that. 5 Central. I don't remember, but it's before the game starts. It's all going to be done.
Yeah.
And doing that. Round Rock 14-10. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They've lost 4 in a row. They were the ones who were really kind of going great, and then they've scuttled a little bit lately.
Well, this league, they're in El Paso right now, obviously, and where the ball travels, and pitchers aren't safe. No lead is safe, and
right.
It just doesn't. It's not a good feeling being there, and
no.
Anyway, offensive numbers are looking good. I mean, this team is more offensive oriented, whereas Down East is more pitching oriented. Definitely the bats carry the day in Round Rock, and they lost one when Sam Huff came up. And, you don't know what's going to happen again.
There's a couple guys there that could be.
This is another one. It's like, geez, what are we going to do? So, I don't know. One pitching note: Cole Winn was again the league's pitcher of the week with 5 scoreless innings and out of the bullpen again. I think they're trying to build his confidence that way or something. However, he's on the temporary inactive list. His grandfather passed away, so the Rangers allowed him to go to be with family for that. So
absolutely, and why wouldn't they? They're going to take care of their guys on something like that for sure.
Anyway, so sorry to hear that, but it looks like he's been a little bit better. Still walking a few guys, too many, but getting better results. So maybe something's clicking. Hope so, because like Baseball America jumped to like 25th in their rankings, and you look at the talent, and he's better than that. It's just him figuring it out. And
I think he struck out 6 in 5 innings the other night too. So he was missing some bats again.
Yeah. It'll be
one outing. I mean, but
it's just been he was the pitcher of the week a couple weeks ago too.
Sure.
So there's been improvement, and that's what you want to see. Yeah, that's what you want to see.
He's on the 40 man. Maybe that's if an injury happens, something happens. Maybe that's a guy you bring up and let in the bullpen and just see. I mean, he's got options. You could option him back down if it didn't work out. He's kind of like Spencer Howard in the fact that this was a guy that had all the stuff to be a good big leaguer. It hasn't all manifested itself at the big league level, and you're kind of there. But maybe he does. Maybe he gets up here and hits a gear, and all of a sudden he's a Dane Dunning type.
He's still very young.
He's very young, 23, 24.
Yeah, and anyway, he's from Colorado, so he's always going to have a soft spot in my heart. But there's some guys there too. Spees is there. This is what I meant to bring up. Taylor Hearn's no longer in the organization.
No, he's not.
He was DFA'd and then traded to the Braves for cash considerations. Good for him.
Yes,
and bad for him. Good for him. I'm sure he enjoyed playing for his hometown team where his family is. And but this is an opportunity. He's been sent to the team with the best record in baseball. I don't know if they signed him to AAA or not, but it's obviously it's an arm. I mean, if the Braves, they know pitching. They know a little bit about talent, and maybe they can
pull something out of there,
reined in. But good for him. Maybe the change of scenery helps. Maybe there was pressure being the hometown kid. I don't know, but. We wish him nothing but the best. Good guy, came on the show.
Yep.
So
always friendly when you're around.
Good,
always
glad. Hope it all works out.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that's another one. Trade deadline is coming up. By the time you see us next time, maybe we'll pull something together at the game Tuesday. If you're hearing this on the radio or on the on the audio version, we'll certainly try to put something together maybe for an hour or so right after the trade deadline and with what's happened. Other than that. Anything?
Yeah, we we may not. I don't know. We may have to leave to go live because of the, like the rights. I know we wouldn't be showing the game, but anyway, we got to talk to John Blake about that. But anyway, anything else? Yeah, subscribe to Rangers Today. $5.99 a month, $35 for 6 months, $60 for a year. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We kind of went through a lull there, but we've picked back up and we're going north again. Visit the website. I know we send everybody the emails. The stories are emailed, but be sure to go to the website and check it out. It's a good resource. It has some stuff to go back and look at in case you missed it. And then also our buddy Josh Sneed.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, we're now affiliates of his T-shirt company, In the Clutch.
And there's some cool ones about to come out that we're going to make available.
They're on the website. If you go there now.
Oh, they're already up?
Yeah.
We need to tweet that out and get that out. These are some.
InTheClutch.com. If you when you find some Ranger shirts. And
there's a Seager shirt. There's a
Duran, Lowe. They have some Simeon shirts. There's a DeGrom shirt. There's
the Grominator.
There's one. It's a play on Bally Sports, Belly Up Sports, which I think is pretty funny. They have a 10-cent beer night shirt. So there's a lot. They're good shirts. $5 shipping. So get for any order. So get multiples. And when you check out, if you type in Rangers Today, you get 10% off.
Holy cow.
So
Rangers Today, 10% off. That's awesome, guys. Go do that. We'll tweet some of these out. Remember, it's Rangers Today is your password on that. Guys, we appreciate all of you that have been a part of this one. Until next week, after the deadline and the Rangers get back home, we will see you at the yard.